Now, goal setting isn't something which happens just once a year. New Year's Eve, you think, well, what shall I set for next year? And if you've been down that road, goal setting and setting goals is something which is a 365-day program, not once every 365. Hopefully, this will be a simple, effective way where you can set achievable goals which you can hit. You really need a starting point, and I'll talk a lot about a starting point so you know where you can finish. Right, what we're going to talk about today really is setting goals. What I want to do is just give you some principles which are bulletproof. These principles you can take in every aspect of your life, when you're setting a goal in every area of your life. If you want to help people, these are so simple and they're so achievable that I know if you work with them, I guarantee you any level of success, you're prepared to work at and getting them. Well, I think dreams, you could say, but with no date, it's a daydream, isn't it? No time, no focus. And so what we're guilty of doing is having ideas, but having no real focus on them. It's a bit like having the difference between a shotgun approach and a rifle approach. With a shotgun, we can hit anything. It has a cartridge with lots of pellets in, and if you're not a great shot and you're maybe shooting a pheasant, obviously to eat, so it's not recreational, so anyone's upset by that. You shoot a pheasant and it comes down. You don't have to be a fantastic shot because you can be anywhere close to that. And too many of us have got like a shotgun approach to life. Only one winner. Do you think he gives excuses? Well, I was running and I ran a bit too fast and I tried to run slower and they caught me up and then they didn't overtake me, so I tried to run backwards a bit and they ran backwards faster, and before I knew I'd won. Who comes second? Well, the wind was in my face, or I didn't have the right numbered shirt, or my spikes weren't. It's the people who lose who make excuses. You can use that for smoking, weight, levels in the business, qualifications, exams. Can you see how simple it is? You can make your own goal. You know, you can really work out things yourself. So the question on closing is, do you know where you are today? Do you know where you're heading for? And if you do know where you're heading for, are you excited about where you're heading? Because if you can get passionate about one thing in life, you can definitely succeed in it. It's been my great pleasure to speak to you, and I'd like to hand you back to Rudy. Well, it gives me great pleasure to talk to you today about leadership, one of my favourite topics, and an area, if you are a leader or an emerging leader, you'll find very useful. The great thing about leadership is nobody picks leaders, they really pick themselves. And what you're going to look at doing here is, have you been picked and selected and chosen, or do you have a following of people who can help you? To lead, you need people to follow. And at some stage you need to learn the skills and the techniques and the habits which you're going to have on a regular basis that people will follow you. Does it have to be this tough? Oh, does it have to be this tough? And sometimes when things are a little uncomfortable is when you're growing. And sometimes when you've got to make decisions which aren't great decisions, it's not easy to do. And sometimes as a leader you're going to be in a position where you might have to maybe make someone redundant or tell someone they're not in the position that you want them to be in. This is what I found to be very useful. I talk about this in many talks. It's the 4 Ds. The first one is just do things that you need to do. As leaders, there are certain things that you have to do, and only you can make those decisions. That's really important. The second one we talk about that is when we talk about is delegation. Delegation is where things you can give a task to someone that you trust that they can do. Date in your diary. One thing that happens here is sometimes we need to, and we're going to talk about one project today, a project that John Butler's doing with the church, and he needs to. He's got a date in the diary, so a date in the diary is very important. The other thing here I'm going to talk about now is dump things. As a leader, you need to dump a lot of things which have gone on in your life. Now, 96% of things you worry about will never happen. What an interesting statistic. 96% of things will never happen, so why worry about it? I know it's been great meeting some of you individually, and obviously I'll meet maybe some of you in the restaurant afterwards and we can have a chat later. Thank you for your time. I'm going to talk to you today about your success is hidden in your daily routine. You might have read the book or listened to the CD or seen me speak in a conference around the country on this program, but it's been very popular with people. And the main reason is it's very simple, it's common sense. The things we do on a regular basis will make a big difference on a long-term goal. For example, many of us see successful people, many of us see unsuccessful people. And what we ask ourselves is, what's the difference between the two? The difference is they keep doing the same things. So if you're not happy with your circumstances and the end results, maybe you might want to change a few things in your life. We're going to talk a little bit now about really having a routine in your life, and really everything we do is down to the routine and habits that we have. And we wrote a book and had a CD called Your Success is Hidden in Your Daily Routine, and really that's the key for moving on. We can apply that just about in every area of our life. And I think sometimes when we talk about things like goal setting, which we spoke about before, we talk about things that we're trying to achieve, or many different challenges we might overcome. Most of them can be overcome with the things we do on a daily basis. We're in a position where we can have instant coffee, instant popcorn, and if you need money, you can get an instant loan, can't you? And sometimes when you get things instantly, if you gain something very quickly, you can lose something very quickly. And what we're trying to do here is, by having some simple principles and some guidelines and some routines, you can have the same sort of results, but you can keep the results longer. And when I speak to people, sometimes we speak to people who are what I call mountain people and what we call valley people. Now, it's my great pleasure and privilege to speak to people here today who are mountain people. They're people who are stretching and trying to achieve more and get more out of their life. They're trying to achieve more, they're stretching to new limits every single day of their lives. And sometimes when you speak to valley people, they're the people sometimes who are blaming people for their circumstances. They're saying, well, it isn't really my fault that I'm here. They're not looking to stretch. Whoever you're with, whoever's helping you, whoever you're with now, if you sit down with them and help them work out some things you can change in your routine on a daily basis, you will not be disappointed with the results. And at these events, our goal here is to give you enough information so that you can be successful in your life. It's not our role here to make you successful. Our role is to equip you with the right information so that you can be a better person yourself. One of the most powerful tools I've ever had in communication, is a personality profiling. It's been a wonderful tool to have information about myself and really to help me understand other people. Now, I use this in coaching, in my personal life, in my business life. I use it with my children. It's just like somebody switched the light on. Now, Global Training for You is where you can get these profiles done. If I flick through this, there's over 50 pages here about different aspects of my personality, how I work with other people's personalities, things that I like, things that I'm weak at. In a positive way, it just talks about how you can work things out better. For my conferences now, because I'm quite dominant and inspiring, my profile tells me, I lack a little attention to detail. So I surround myself with things I don't have. The great news about these profiles is you can have them for children, for adults. In every aspect of my life, it's been so important. So I'd recommend, if you're serious about personal development, that you need to have one of these profiles done ASAP on globaltrainingforyou.com.